As it said that the YC ahead, Arsenal have gone ahead to make their transfer priority, and that is Declan Rice. This might be annoying to Arsenal fans all over the world because most of them are thinking that maybe this would have been a chance for them to capitalize on, to see to it that they really win the trophy by signing in players right now, with 2 weeks left for the January transfer window to be closed after missing out on Modric. Arsenal are really trying to focus onto the end of the month of June to see to it that they really sign in Declan Rice as their transfer target. So welcome to Rokani Media Football. We are going to talk about Facundo Torres, another player that Arsenal is interested in. The players come out and really confirmed to us that Arsenal is totally interested in him. And lastly, it's going to be about Cedric. Arsenal have gone ahead to grant Fulham a chance, all giving them permission to talk to the player to see to it that they get that deal done and dusted and they get it out of the way. Second video of the day as we do it, it's Rokani Media Football, bringing you all the latest news and information as far as this is concerned. Rokan David is my name, so don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel to see to it that we continue growing and growing huge in numbers. Now, this story broke yesterday and very many people have gone ahead to follow up on it, and I believe that I have to do it for you because you guys deserve it. Now, we've been told by Gary Jacob, is the person who really broke it. He works for the Times. He told us that Arsenal have made Declan Rice their top target this summer and are growing in confidence that they can beat Chelsea to his signature. Arsenal believe that their status as the Premier League leaders put them in a strong position. Obviously, I believe they can beat Chelsea because I don't see Chelsea finishing in the Champions League places. And Declan Rice, towards the World Cup, he really talked about or hinted about playing in the Champions League and is wanting to play in the Champions League. And I believe he might be not even in the shade of Chelsea because Chelsea might be going in for Cedric and very many other midfielders before even the end of the January transfer window, meaning that he won't be having a position to play at Chelsea. And if I told you at Declan Rice, you wouldn't like to go to a team where you're going to compete for a position, yet there are teams like Arsenal that can really get you the positions that you want. And I believe Arsenal's project is so much convincing. However much Declan Rice is a support of Chelsea, he has on several occasions hinted on really joining Chelsea, but he has also said lots of good things about Arsenal and what they're achieving this season. If at all I happen to land onto that tweet, I'll throw it on your screen and see what Declan Rice talked about Arsenal on how they're really playing this season. Every player is loving the way Arsenal is playing. That's it. I believe he would love to go on and play for a side known as Arsenal. So the Premier League status is really great. Look at the age of Declan Rice. He's 24 years of age. Yeah, 24 years of age. That is the current profile of Mikel Arteta. Arteta is interested in players like Declan Rice. He wants players like those to come in, day out at the club of Arsenal, and it will be you're going to find it hard for Arsenal to sign a player who is above 26, 27 years of age, because they believe that they are planning a project for the next 5, 6, 7 years. That's why you see to it that every player, they are really extending his contract. They're extending it for the next 5 years until 2027, meaning that they know that in those years they would have really matured and obviously got in other players that can come in and act as their backups at the club of Arsenal. So Gary Jacob broke that story of Declan Rice wanted by Arsenal, of course, and very many others really went ahead to follow up onto the story. Now we have the Gunners blog. They told us that Arsenal have made Declan Rice their top summer target and are growing in confidence a deal can be done. Obviously, a deal can be done because they have the money to spend on him. 80 million pounds is being called for a player known as Declan Rice. And can that surprise you? It cannot surprise me, because if at all they really held 88 million pounds and took them to Shakhtar, to see to it that they convinced Modric to come to their club, though he went to Chelsea, why not get the same amount of money and spend on Declan Rice? Because it looks like the midfield of Arsenal really needs a player like Declan Rice. Though for me, I believe however much is good, but there are far much better players than him. If you tell me a Cedric, a Ruben Neves, Enzo Fernandez, and Declan Rice, I take the other three. I take the other three because they have a lot they add to their game. To me, I believe Declan Rice is a basic central defensive midfielder. That's it. He's just basic. He's too usual. There is nothing different he does that is really extraordinary. That's it. The problem we faced in this industry of sports is every English player that comes in and is just a usual player is overhyped by the media that he's one of the best. You get? I don't rate Declan Rice ahead of Calvin Phillips. For me, talent matters a lot. You see, I don't see Declan Rice as a nacho. I'm sorry to say this. I don't see him as a nacho, according to me. I see him as a person who really forces things. You get? The way he plays, it's not like his entire body is flowing. It comes out of him. It's like he's a too much coached player. He's like Jordan Henderson. He's like... which other player is like that? There are players that are good just because they have mastered the art. They've mastered the craft, but not talent. But what of Calvin Phillips? Talented and well coached. I think he offers you much more better stuff than Declan Rice. You get? He can play in a double pivot. He can play as a single pivot. He can play as a central attack midfielder. He can play as a box-to-box midfielder. That is Calvin Phillips. But for Declan Rice, I just see that the guy is just overhyped. I don't know why Arsenal is in need of this guy. That's it. I don't see why they are needing him because I believe they are better players that can really be gotten by Arsenal on a cheap than Declan Rice. I don't fancy the deal of Declan Rice. I don't. That's it. Arsenal are planning a summer move for £80 million rated West Ham midfielder Declan Rice and are growing in confidence that the deal can be done. Rice is keen to compete for trophies and play Champions League football. That is the Athletic. So every credible source is hinting on this deal, meaning that it's really concrete and Arsenal are really interested in Declan Rice. But we wait and see how things unfold for Arsenal because they've tried out midfielders like Danilo. And I believe the good thing is that Danilo has come in the Premier League. He's going to play for Nottingham Forest. And I'm 100% sure that he's going to play very, very well. And him, after playing very well, I see no reason of us not altering to go in and sign him from Nottingham Forest because Nottingham signed him at 20 million euros. That is like 16 million pounds. Meaning that if Arsenal raise the bar to like 35 or 40 million pounds, they can get their man they would have gotten the summer from Palmeiras because I don't believe in Declan Rice. People have talked a lot about him, but guys, if you're really looking to go to the next level, apart from him being English and Arsenal wanting to be having more English players at the club because they've been so much criticized for signing in Brazilians and really having a weak link on Brazilians, I don't see why they're bringing Declan Rice. There are very many other good players that can get the job done. Look at even Chelsea. Chelsea is a team that Declan Rice wants to play for, but Chelsea have not gone in for him. However much they are having lots of money to spend, they are not going in for him. That's it, because they can go all out at West Ham and tell them we are giving you Konagaraga on loan, and we are giving you Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Get us Declan Rice, we are getting you £80 million, giving you these three players, all 1, 2, or 3 players on loan. Get us the player. And I believe Moyes will hand over Declan Rice to Chelsea in this January transfer window because you'll have gotten 2 more players and money to go out in the market and really get in another player. I believe they will do it. But £80 million on Declan Rice, I'm not convinced. Ten Hag said the following about English players, that they are overhyped, their prices are through the roof, but they are not all that special. And he said he can only spend money on special English players. If at all you told me that Arsenal are going in for Calvin Phillips for that amount of money, I would have said yes. And guys, let me tell you this. I would rather take in James Ward-Prowse other than Declan Rice. That's it. I believe Ward-Prowse has a lot into his game than Declan Rice. And he can play in all the positions of the midfield. He can play as a CDM. He can play as a box-to-box midfielder. He can play as a central attack midfielder. I believe he's a better player than Declan Rice. Though Declan Rice has been having this hype around him as one of the best players in the Premier League. But I believe Ward-Prowse really has a very good game than Declan Rice. That's it. Now, again, the Athletic said Arsenal's ambitions to acquire Declan Rice makes it possible that they will once again go head-to-head with Chelsea, as with João Felix and Mikhailo Modric. Arsenal were beaten this window, but are already turning their attention to summer reinforcements. Now, is this a revenge that Arsenal want to do? That maybe Declan Rice has been a player that Chelsea wanted to sign in the summer. Now Arsenal wants to come in and really do a revenge. Reason being, Chelsea's chances of really playing the Champions League next season are really minimal, unless otherwise they win the Champions League. If they don't win the Champions League, they are going nowhere. That's it. If they win, if they don't win the Champions League, we won't see them play in Champions League next year. And Declan Rice will weigh in and say, me going to Chelsea, that is not in the Champions League, yet my dream has always been playing the Champions League. I'm 24 years of age. I sign a contract with Chelsea of close to 4 or 5 years. Is it making sense for me? I think we'll sit down on his agent and say, all right, I'd rather go to Arsenal. And I think this is one of the bases. This is one of the grounds that Arsenal have really best on to stay to it, that we can go ahead and really bend this transfer to ourselves, coming in from the Athletic. But let's wait and see what's going to be coming in from the Declan story, because he's one of those players that really went ahead and really praise Arsenal for the way they are playing this season as far as this transfer is concerned. Now, again, I think this is the last tweet about Declan Rice. We are having a journalist known as Simon J. Dean. Arsenal are hoping to sign Declan Rice from West Ham this summer and have made him their top target. Arsenal are understood to be growing in confidence that they will be able to secure his signature in a deal worth £70 million. All right, let's wait and see how this is going to unfold. But Declan Rice, I have my reservations on him. That's it. It's not an agenda, but it's really a plan or a reasoning or a complaint or an argument that is backed with facts. That's it. It's 100% backed with facts. Then we've been told by Simon Dean that with Granit Xhaka now 30, Thomas Partey at the age of 29, Arsenal are hoping to strengthen and refreshen their midfield in the long term. Yeah, I understand what Arsenal are doing, but I think Tielemans, Danilo, was going to be a very good reinforcement. But I happen to believe that it's all about Declan Rice being English, and that's why they need to sign this player to add more English quality onto their team, because they're having Ramsdale, they're having Ben White, they're having Saka. I think those are the only 3 English players that start into the Arsenal squad. Ramsdale, Ben White, and Bukayo Saka. We look at the rest of the players, they are not English. I believe they want to add some English quality to their club. That's why they're going in for Declan Rice. That's it. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. But the age of Thomas Partey and Xhaka is also an issue. But I believe Danilo being 20, Tielemans being 25, 26, they would have gone ahead to come in and really do a very good job. With Danilo playing as a CDM and Tielemans coming in through and really play into that box-to-box role. Better. Even the quality is really so much more better than that of Declan Rice. Guys, wait for Danilo. He's in the Premier League. He's going to play for Nottingham Forest. I believe on the weekend he's going to be part of the team that is going to be playing for the Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Keep your eyes onto the Nottingham game. You'll tell me what Danilo is all about. I think Danilo has a lot to add to his game than Declan Rice. And I think Declan Rice's signing at Arsenal is so much inclined or hinged on him being English, because Arsenal needs more English players into their starting 11. I think that's the cause, because Emile Smith-Rowe doesn't command a starting position at Arsenal. Eddie Nketiah is playing because Gabriel Jesus is really a player that is injured. If at all Jesus comes in, he's not going to be playing. So that shows you that they want another player to command the midfield who is English. That's why you've seen them go for the Kyle Walker-Peters. They wanted Gerard Bowen, Harvey Barnes. I believe Arteta has really gotten to know that for the business part of it, to gain back their fame in London, they need to sign more English players, because when you look at Chelsea, they're really having mob. Sterling. They're having Chukwuemeka, Mason Mount. They're having Reece James, Ben Chilwell. There is this other English player, Gallagher Corner. So they have close to 6-7 English players, and they're willing to go on and really sign more at their club, meaning that they really want to see them, they really want to see that fame really around to them, because you know that English supporters brag shoulders or rally behind their English players. That's it. So I think that's what Arsenal are they after, because Chelsea have gone ahead to really do the needful as far as that is concerned. Now, there is this player known as Facundo Torres. He has gone ahead and confirmed to us that Arsenal really wants him. Now, Facundo Torres reveals Orlando confirmed to me that there was contact with Arsenal, but then I left for the World Cup. We will see now how it goes. He tells 90 Minute, I will love to play in Europe. It's a dream I've had since I was a kid. Now, I like this boy. He plays very well. Good forward for any team that could sign him. But right now, does Arsenal need a player for the future or a player for now? That's it. I believe Arsenal need a player for now. Unless otherwise, Arsenal are really willing to give up the trophy to either Manchester United or Man City. You get? When you look at Man City, they're having experienced players and a very good squad that can really take this chase to the wire. When you look at Manchester United, they're having experienced players that know what winning is. David De Gea, Varane, seasoned winner, World Cup winner, 4 Champions Leagues onto his name. Casemiro, seasoned winner, 5 Champions League onto his name. You get? So, those 3 players will impact these others to get into winning and winning. That's it. And they're having quality up front. Trust me, you see, the only informed players at Manchester United, according to me, it's Casemiro and Rashford. But time is going to come when Sancho has picked form, Martial has picked form, Anthony has picked form, Bruno Fernandes has picked form. You get? The likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of Dalot. When the entire team is on song, you'll see what is going to happen. They'll be winning games easily. Like you say, Arsenal. Almost every player playing for Arsenal right now is on form. You get? So that confirms to you that Arsenal needs to bring in players, because the moment Man City and Manchester United get all their players on form, it's really going to be so much hard for Arsenal to put in a shift, because these 2 teams will be unstoppable, because they're having players that if at all they hit the ground running as a team or as a unit, it's going to be hard for Arsenal to go on and really chase for these players. So I believe this guy is good, Facundo Torres, and if Arsenal sign him, is one for the future, but they need a player in the now. That's what I'm going to base on my argument on Trossard. I think I'm going to talk about Trossard, Moussa Dembele in my next story that I'm going to do here on this channel, because Trossard has been offered to Arsenal, and I believe Arsenal should go in and sign Trossard first, because this guy Facundo Torres is good. But for now, and the plans of Arsenal as they are being scheduled, I believe Arsenal should go in for another player who is really a finished article. That's why I told you that Arsenal losing Mukalo Modric to Chelsea, it was a blessing in disguise. Get that money, £88 million, divide it into 3, and get in 3 players that are really quality in the Premier League. Like Trossard is there, get him. Go to teams like Leicester, throw money at them, £20 million, they'll get you Tielemans, and get another player that can come in and play like 2 or 3 other positions in that amount of money that is really proven. So, good to see to it that Arsenal were chasing for this player, but I think they did it not knowing that Jesus is going to get an injury. But with Jesus injured, I believe the plan has changed, and missing out on Mukalo Modric shows you that they can't really get in a player like him. They'll go in for different kind of players. altogether. Now, let's go to the last story. It's all about a man called Cedric Soares. 30 years of age, Arsenal have granted permission to Fulham to speak to Cedric Soares about personal terms. Reports Thomas of Sky Sports, and obviously we expected this. The reason as to why this deal has always been pending is simple. Fulham don't want to pay the amount of money that Cedric is earning at Arsenal. And obviously Sky has told us that Fulham are in discussions with Cedric Soares over personal terms after Arsenal have given him permission to speak to the club. Fulham will try to seal the deal with Arsenal should they agree with the player. And Arsenal have a very good relationship with Fulham because they've sold their player known as Bernard Leno. Not so? So, if they've put Bernard Leno onto the market, they sold him there. So I think the negotiations are not going to be hard. Money is going to be crossing hands from Fulham to Arsenal because Arsenal might see themselves get close to £5 million or 6 or 7 or 8, depending on how they are going to agree on a deal of a player known as Cedric Soares. Why is Cedric Soares leaving Arsenal? There is no way he's going to get enough playing time. Ben White is one of those players that has gone ahead to make himself untouchable in that right back position of Arsenal. He's untouchable. Even Tomiyasu, who's the right back of Arsenal last season, can't displace him from that right back position of Arsenal. So if Tomiyasu can't, do you think Cedric Soares can? He can't. So he has no position to play at Arsenal, so he's going to be sold, and I believe he also wants to move. However much Arsenal is going to win the league, he would have liked to be in that historic team of Arsenal to win the league. I don't believe the permutations that Arsenal will allow him. And with him left with 1 year on his contract, I think Arsenal just see this as a perfect opportunity to sell him. But it's not only Fulham that were really needing the player. Villarreal, was it even Valencia? They wanted his service, but I believe he wants to stay in London. He wants to stay in London and stay in London. And obviously Fulham is in London, and Arsenal don't want to miss out on such opportunity to sell this player. Obviously, so your reactions to Arsenal all in for Declan Rice are welcome in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about Facundo Torres. Do you think he's the right guy for Arsenal to sign this January transfer window after the snubbing of Mokalo Modric? And lastly, what do you think about Cedric Soares? Should you let him go or do you want him to stay around? Sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. Good evening, my mates. We still have more stories coming. I'm out.